St. Nicholas. I grew up going to a Protestant church with my mother and attended Catholic school until college. But it's safe to say when I met my wife about 11 years ago in Washington, I did not attend church regularly. In full disclosure, my wife is the Greek one. Her yaya and papu immigrated to the United States through Ellis Island, and she grew up in the Greek Orthodox faith. And soon after we started dating, we attended St. Sophia's in Washington together. And when we got engaged, she told me she would like to be married in the Greek Orthodox Church, but there was no pressure on me to convert. Now, having found my spiritual home at St. Sophia's, I did decide to convert and began taking catechism classes with Father Dimitri. And a few months later, I was baptized at St. Constantine and Helen in California. In 2014, we were married in Greece, in Holyoke, a town called Priolithos, where her yaya was born. In fact, we got married in the church that her yaya was baptized in, and our oldest daughter, Eleni, was baptized there a few years ago. So about a year after we were married, I was considering applying for a job here in Wilmington. Now, Kristen had visited Wilmington several times, but she had two important questions about the town before we moved here. The first being, is there a Costco? And the second, is there a Greek Orthodox church? And I remember telling her the answers were yes and yes, and then in fact I'd do her one better, is that our own mayor was Greek. And I must say, after I moved here within a week or two, and even before we had stepped foot in this church, Jim Stasios and Kula Katsikis had found us. So while my family and I have attended St. Nicholas since we moved here, shortly after our second daughter, Athena, was born, I asked Father how I could help him and how he could become more active in the church. And the reason I did that, as a parent, we began to realize how important it was that my daughters grew up in a faith community, in a family of people that would help them and set a good example for them. As they both grow up, we're exposed to new friends, they're exposed to new friends, and in turn, we as parents meet other parents through preschool and camps, soccer games, etc. But in my mind, one of the most important parts of St. Nicholas is the extended family that it provides for our daughters. An extended family of individuals that share our values and our faith, and a spiritual home for our daughters. This brings me to stewardship and why it's important to my family to support our church through stewardship. In talking to Father, I was surprised to learn that our church isn't financially supported by the diocese. There's no top-down support. In fact, 75% of our church's operating budget comes from stewardship alone. The remaining quarter come from the proceeds of our Greek festival. I know that our goal would be get to a place where 100% of our operating budget would come from stewardship alone, and that the proceeds of the Greek festival would in turn go back to the community that supports that festival, and in fact, to capital improvements eventually to the church itself. Therefore, I leave you with this. Please give some thought and consideration to how your family within your means can give back to this, our spiritual family and home. I know that for me, our stewardship comes from our family to support the larger St. Nicholas family and home. For us, it's an investment that will continue to pay dividends to us all for many, many years to come. Thank you, Father. Thank you very much.